Hey, it's Scott Barrett and welcome back to the Burning Truth YouTube Live. I'll be honest with you guys, we've been not very well over the last 3-4 weeks now. Myself and Matt Burns, different illnesses, different problems. But I am back tonight for what we're going to do, which is going to be totally different. It is cold outside, but the energy is stronger than the cold. And tonight we are going to do something extra special. And if it goes well, might do it more. What we're going to do is a live watch along for NXT's New Year's Evil. Now, normally I would do a weekly NXT review, which I haven't done last few weeks. Not been very well. Not sorry about it. Is what it is. Sorry, guys. But we're going to kick 2025 off in style by catching up and doing that by watching the first special, if you like. It's not quite a PLE, but the first special episode of NXT this year. The stakes are sky high and the lineup for it is absolutely stacked. We've got championship gold on the line and some explosive rivalries reaching boiling points. But how does a watch along work? Well, I'm going to tell you, and then if you want to pause, go and sort it out and come back to this. If you're not watching along live, you can watch this back anytime and you can still watch along with us and enjoy it. So I'm going to provide some alternate commentary, some, fun facts, just my overall thoughts on what's happening. But how does it work? This is how it works. So what you need to do is you need to open up your Netflix, and find this week's episode of WWE NXT. Get the episode queued up on your screen, and I will then count down 3, 2, 1, play. And when I say that, you'll press play the same time as me, and I'll guide you through all the action, match by match, segment by segment, plenty of commentary, reactions, and who knows, even maybe a little trivia along the way. As Matt Burns has started to call it, Scott statistics, so they might start appearing too. Got it? All right, let's not waste any more time. Cue it up, and let's dive head first into NXT New Year's Evil. So if you found it on Netflix, it's 3, 2, 1, play. Ba-bum. And we're off. So I haven't seen this. First watch for me. I'll be honest, since I haven't been very well, I haven't really caught up with NXT at all. So the last review that I did was the last episode that I've watched. I have done a little bit of reading, catching up on, some of the stuff online, what's happened, etc. Done a little bit of watching YouTube shorts on the official WWE channel, but overall, I'm new to this, so let's see what happens. I must admit, WWE on Netflix, how good is this? So, don't get any better, does it? New Year's Evil from Los Angeles, California. Interestingly enough, this is the same place that Raw was at last night. So, yeah, they haven't had to go far for this at all. I suppose the NXT staff have, because they were probably in Orlando, but not far from where Raw was last night. So there might be a few extra faces on the card that we weren't expecting. And we're starting off with Roxanne here, who's going to defend the Women's Championship against Julia after Julia won at Deadline. So, yeah, looking forward to that as well. Julia looking focused. Obafemi, obviously on the show as well. He's in that huge triple threat match against Eddie Thorpe and Trick Williams for the NXT Championship. Looking forward to that too. Eddie Thorpe, this is an interesting story, right? So Eddie Thorpe has he's pretty much snuck himself into this match, hasn't he? From what I can gather. He the Iron Survivor at Deadline, he sort of sidestepped, pretended to get attacked so he'd get a title shot, got a title shot, and then I'm unsure how he got to the point where we got a triple threat match, but there must have been shenanigans at the end of that. And then we've got this car outside in the back of the arena. Looks nice. And who's in the car? We zoomed in on the door. Oh, it's the final boss. The Rock is in California. The Rock is at NXT. Loving life. We've got The Rock on NXT on Tuesday night. The final boss, they're calling him. And a big picture of Hogan behind him. Wonder if he's going to get a boo. Funny. So let's get into the first match, guys. Come on, let's get going. I wonder what will be first. I am interested. Booker T on commentary alongside, is that Mike Rome? Not Mike Rome. Oh, Corey Graves on NXT as well. We love that. Vic Joseph, that's the main commentator's name. That doesn't matter anyway because you're listening to me, right? So Vic Joseph, Booker T, Corey Graves, a decent commentary team, actually. Looking forward to having Corey back on NXT. It's where he started his commentary career, I think. And it looks like we're going to get the Women's Championship match first. So we've got Julia making her way from the ring to the ring, not from the ring. I'll tell you what it is about Julia. She reminds me very much of Oscar doing the entrance with the fur. And I know it's a very similar presentation, isn't it? And I'm unsure once we get to the main roster one day, maybe, how different it will be. And what I wouldn't want them to do is whack them in a tag team together just because they may be dressed similar. They've got to find their individuality, haven't they? So while they're on separate brands, that's fine. But if they get to the point where they're on the same show, I don't know. That just maybe sticks with me. Maybe that's not an issue for anyone else. Comments in if you're watching along currently at remaining time 1:55, 29, 28, 27. So if you're watching along on the Netflix, that's where we are. And then here comes the champ, Roxanne Perez, the prodigy, they call her, don't they? And Roxanne's reign's been huge, right? She's had the title for what seems like forever. I'm unsure whether they'll ever get it offered, to be fair. Is she ready for the main roster? Don't know. Maybe Gates in the comments if you think she is worth retaining or going, no, not retaining, but if you think she's worth going up to the main roster, let me know because I'm not convinced.
The NXT women's division as a whole, arguably the best women's division on the planet Earth these days. I think she is the right woman to sit at the top of the mountain. But Julia looks
two-time champ, according to Wikipedia. Anyway, wonder how long she has at the title. Let's have a list of champions. Be on there, won't it? 276 days total. Huge. Oh, that's Mike Rome. There's where I was going wrong. Doing the announcing. He hasn't got any socks on. That's a bit freaky. You know what I mean? You've put a suit on, mate. At least put some socks on.
from Laredo, Texas. She is the NXT Women's Champion.
Okay, so we've got the introductions there to Julia and Roxanne Perez. Two-tap. Oh, do you know what? We saw it last night on yesterday, actually. It was if you watched Monday Night Raw on Netflix, the first one actually, $1 billion deal. But we saw this new referee outfit, and I'm actually really glad it's the same on NXT. It is super smart, this new ref top, the grey and then the two black stripes and the white logo. And we're off. Here we go. Women's title action. The best women's division in the world, NXT. Prove me wrong. And I think, yeah, really looking forward to this. Really, really, really looking forward to it. Julia's got to win this, right? Got to. Ain't it? Suit without socks. What is that madness? Thanks for whacking that in the chat. Look, it's not just me. Somebody else has got it in there as well. Thanks for your comment, the big one, 112004. So Roxanne's reign, right? So from what I can gather, she was, and I always say this, but I didn't watch NXT for a few years prior to going on to the CW. I'm a big fan of previous NXT. When it went to 2.0, I just sort of fell out of love with it for a little bit. But I don't really know Roxanne Perez prior to this reign. But from what I can gather, she's transitioned from like a plucky underdog to this really confident, brash champion character who's not afraid to cut corners. And I think that's really interesting as a heel champion within NXT, especially because normally NXT is the workhorse fighting brand. You don't get a lot of big dropkick. You don't get a lot of sneaky characters. Let's call it sneaky. Again, if you're watching along live, we are at 1 hour, 51 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. 13, 12, 11. So get it on. If you got on Netflix, get yourself on and watch it with us. Oh, Roxanne Perez there just hanging up Julia's arm on the ropes. Really working on that arm. Yeah, really working on the arm there, Roxanne. Yeah, so that's Roxanne Perez, sort of come from that sort of plucky underdog. Yeah, sort of plucky underdog status. But Julia is interesting. So I didn't know Julia at all before she debuted around the time I started watching NXT. And I think, obviously comes across as world-class wrestler from, wherever she's come from. I take it somewhere like New Japan Stardom, somewhere along those lines, maybe all of those. But I think what really comes across for me is it's her resilience, devastating strikes. She is a perfect foil for Perez's sort of sneaky Weasley character. So that's what I really like about this completely. Got another comment from the big one. Big one saying she was a workhorse for Ring of Honor Indies before signing with WWE and on NXT. Thanks very much there, guys. Are we talking Julia or are we talking Roxanne? What we're talking? Roxanne, I mean. There you go. So thanks for that. Yeah, Roxanne, great character for me. Quite happy. What about Julia? What do we know about Julia? Well, we've got an expert in the chat. Appreciating that. I'm not an expert. I'm just here watching it with you. You guys are the experts. I'll learn from you.
She's competed on all great stats, but can she get it done tonight? You just said. She get it done tonight. You just gave all the props to work. She's the best in the business.
Really technical, this match, actually. Far more technical than I expected it to be. Oh, nice half suplex there by Julia. Misses a big boot. Roxanne takes her from behind and a bit of a back suplex. Perez turning the tables on Julia a bit. Julia's straight back up, though. And now we're just trading slaps, trading shots. Open hand. Like, big slaps. Slap, slap, slap. And Julia with a big open hand to Roxanne's face. The prodigy, she calls herself Roxanne. Roxanne Perez. Bringing the action back to the middle of the ring. Oh, Roxanne plants Julia face first with a bit of an arm wringer. Roxanne taking off against the ropes and dive to the outside. Taking out Julia through the middle and bottom rope. Roxanne chucking Julia back in, going up. Second rope, top rope, and is met at the top by Julia. So we're going to get some sort of top rope spot here, which is nice. Super duper plex there from Julia to Roxanne. Both ladies straight back up to the knees, though. Sell it, guys. Give it some time. Oh, Julia. Huge, huge driver. Oh, so the superplex was like a double underhook as well. Very cool. Modified Michinoku driver from Julia there as well. Straight up for suplex, slam, but Roxanne lands on her feet. And then we're into a crossface from Roxanne Perez. Center of the ring, bang on the center of the ring. Julia, though, straight away shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling. Rolls it through. Can't get to the ropes. Roxanne gets her up and, goes for code red. Misses and drop kick to Julia. Julia falling out of the ring. Roxanne still on top here. Here we go. Oh! Bit of a brainbuster slam almost there from Julia to Roxanne outside the ring.
And the only way Julia can win the championship, she's got to get Roxanne back in the ring.
And now we got the refs count. I'm enjoying this, you know. I keep saying it, NXT's women's division, best in the world, and that's exactly what we've got. Oh, Cora Jade, Roxanne's friend, chucking Roxanne into the ring to break the count. 9 count Julia's back in as well. Cora Jade, man. She's taller than she looks, Cora Jade. I always think that when she's on. Here we go. Roxanne, code red. Easy. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, kicks out. Julia kicks out. I must admit, I thought that was the finish. And then Roxanne takes her straight into an armbar. At the same time, Cora Jade gets ejected. Near fall from Julia, rolled through. Oh, big knee to the face. Northern Light bomb. So that was that sort of brainbuster slam I was talking about. She calls it Northern Lights bomb. And Julia gets the win. 1, 2, 3. New champ. New champ. Loving life. Julia, do you know what? I didn't think that'd be the finish, but fair dues. We've got some more information here from the big one. The Beautiful Madness, Julia, she made a name in Stardom and New Japan Pro Wrestling, but most of her awards were in Stardom. So exactly what I said then, the big one, eh? Exactly what I said. No one talking about, he says. But yeah, I'll learn from you guys. You tell me. But what a finish. Julia with that Northern Lights bomb for the win. And we've got a new NXT Women's Champion. How long did I say Roxanne Perez has been champion for? 276 days, which is huge. So, you know, quality reign. Longest reign since, there has been some long reigns in NXT, actually. Mandy Rose, 413 days. Io Shirai at the time, 304. Now Io Sky. Shayna Baszler, 416 days. And then that classic Oscar run, 522 days, something along the lines of that. So we have had some really long reigns for NXT titles, and 276 days, Roxanne Perez is really credible. But, and new women's champion, Julia. How about that? What a start to the show. Enjoyed that a lot. If you are watching along at home or in the car or wherever you watch, I'm currently watching, and Netflix always gives us the time remaining. So the time remaining is 1 hour, 40 minutes and 14, 13, 12 seconds if you're watching along with us. Julia, English born. Yeah, beautiful British name, Julia. Fair dues. We've got Eddie backstage. He's got injured, inverted commas. Ava's seen him. Is he faking injury again, though? Or is he really been attacked? Crying wolf, crying wolf. Who's this now? What's second match of the night? Oh, it's Stephanie Vaquer. Love Stephanie Vaquer. Fatal 4-way. So this is the North American Championship #1 contenders, I think. So Stephanie Vaquer, Kalani Jordan, Cora Jade, Lola Vice. So we're going to get Cora Jade back down now just after she's done the after she's done the job trying to help Roxanne Perez in the last match. That whole finish felt a bit rushed though for me. I'm not sure about you. I just think the whole the end of that Roxanne Perez Julia match could have been stretched out a little bit more. They could have got a bit more for that. But I suppose, time's got to allow. And we have got, another 4 matches on this card, including this one. So NXT always a bit shorter than a WWE special. I think 2 hours for this. Well, yeah, 1 hour, 38 minutes, 32 seconds left. So, you've got to get a lot in that time. Second match on Raw this week. Netflix didn't start until we were 90 minutes into the episode. So, got to get it right, haven't we? Advertising the Royal Rumble from Indianapolis on the 1st of February. Feels late, doesn't it? February for the Rumble. Doesn't sit right in me gut. But hey, is what it is. Vengeance Day coming on the 15th of February for NXT. That'll be good. Looking forward to that. That's the next PLE for NXT by the looks of it.
I should not be worried about
3 weeks ago, Ethan Page and Javon Evans. Man, Javon Evans. I love Javon Evans. And Ethan Page attacked him. Oh, steel chair. Ethan Page needs charge today. He's got no socks on either. Absolute madness. Put some socks on. Dirty buggers. Messed up his grill. His jaw is wired shut after Ethan Page attacked him with that chair. Poor Javon Evans. It's a good job, right? He doesn't need his jaw to do all the flips that he does from the top rope. Oof, and then last week he attacked. Is that Cedric Alexander? Hand in the box. Oof. Javon says he's going to make Ethan feel his pain. Wow. Here comes Lola Vice. Lola Vice, firecracker, who's itching for revenge after a few recent losses. We got in the ring. We've got them all in the ring now. Cora Jade, by the looks of it. We've got Kalani Jordan in there as well as Seen. And obviously Stephanie Vaquer entered first before we got those few adverts. So that's good. It's 4-way. #1 contender for the North American Championship, the Women's North American Championship, currently held by Fallon Henley of Fatal Influence, I believe. Kalani Jordan, the former champ. Oh, everybody goes straight in for Cora Jade. And they're really building up The Rock being on NXT, and rightly so. I mean, biggest star in the world is going to be on your show. Absolutely huge. And oof. Kalani Jordan rolls up Stephanie Vaquer for a 2 count. Lola Vice slips behind. Kalani rolls up. And then Stephanie Vaquer rolls up. And we're just getting 2 counts galore here. 2 count, 2 count, 2 count. Cora Jade's back in. Looks like she's going to take over. Boom. Big right hand to Kalani Jordan. And throws Lola Vice onto her back by a hair. Cora Jade off the ropes. And vicious elbow to the back of Lola Vice's head. And yeah, we are cracking now in this 4-way. And I expect that we're going to get, Cora Jade being ruthless, less of a sneaky character than Roxanne Perez. Cora Jade comes across as quite a ruthless character in terms of take, do whatever it takes to win in a much more, word I'm looking for here, a much more direct fashion. Oh, the big one. He reckons that, or she, could be a she, reckons that Eddie Thorpe was injured, attacked for real, and also letting us know that he thinks the attack by Ethan was absolutely brutal. So thanks for your comments. Anybody else got any comments, let us know. If you're watching along currently, my Netflix tells me what time is remaining, and we're currently at 1 hour, 29 minutes and 52, 51, 50 seconds remaining. So that's if you want to watch along with us live. Or even if you're watching this back, just pause and catch up to where we are. Kalani Jordan there with a dive over the top rope. Lovely. And Cora Jade with a bit of a diving roll as well for herself. So what's going on in this one then? Got Kalani Jordan as well, the former champ. She is the underdog with momentum on her side. I think she got a big win over Lola Vice the week before, so last week now. And Stephanie Vaquer, obviously the steady favourite, riding high with some real consistent performances since she's, come to NXT. Similar to Julia, actually. I can definitely see Julia and Stephanie Vaquer as the two NXT women's singles champions. I think that'd be absolutely brilliant. As much as I'd like to see them as the tag team champions for the main roster, I can definitely see these two holding all the gold in NXT. Yeah, so really rapid fire exchanges to start, and now we've got we've still got this really quick paced action, actually. I would dare say, because there's the four of them and they haven't sort of paired off, we're just getting one after the other. So the action's been quite steady and intense. I'm enjoying it so far. Lola Vice has impressed me so far. I didn't think she was as good as this, to tell the truth. Much better than I thought. Fatal Influence watching from backstage.
I wonder, what is Fallon Henley thinking right now, seeing this action? I'll tell you, Fallon Henley better be focused on one thing.
And they're in a match tonight as well, right? So Fatal Influence are going to wrestle in 6-man tag team action or 6-woman tag team action against Shotzi, Gigi Dolan, and Tatum Paxley. Shotzi, I didn't even realize Shotzi was back in NXT, but that must be one of the weeks I've missed. Stephanie Vaquer up to the top and now diving to the outside. Huge crossbody on Cora Jade and Lola Vice. Hard landing, actually. I think that Vic Joseph just called that out on commentary. Oof. For Cora Jade. Tough landing for Cora Jade. I think Stephanie Vaquer probably all right. And now Kalani Jordan up to the top for a moonsault to the outside onto everyone. Very Charlotte Flair, that one. Very, very Charlotte Flair. If you're watching along with us, currently at 1 hour, 23 minutes, 30 seconds remaining, 28 seconds remaining. We're watching the fatal four-way between Kalani Jordan, Stephanie Vaquer, Cora Jade, and Lola Vice for the #1 contendership to see who will face Fallon Henley for the NXT North American Championship. It's been really good. This was actually great action. As good as that first match. Julia and Roxanne was very good. I had to give it a decent amount of sausages, but this has been really good as well. And I'll say it again, it feels like a catchphrase. NXT has got the strongest women's division in all of professional wrestling right now. Quote me. Really, really good. Oh, missed 450 from Kalani Jordan. Lola Vice into the ring, spinning back fist. Stephanie Vaquer with a super kick. Chucks Lola Vice out of the ring. And then, oh, hello. Oh, SVB. And Stephanie Vaquer gets the win. So that was like a double underhook backbreaker onto the knee. It was nasty looking, but there you go. Stephanie Vaquer gets the win. I'm sorry, I haven't been very well at all. This cough just keeps coming back with a vengeance. Stephanie Vaquer gets the win. #1 contender for the North American Championship. So Fallon Henley, Stephanie Vaquer going to come, face-to-face, one-on-one very soon. And I imagine that with the momentum that somebody like Stephanie Vaquer's got, I cannot see Fallon Henley getting past her. We got backstage now. We got Alba Fire and Isla Dawn backstage with Ava.
Excuse me, Ava. Sorry to interrupt, but do you have an update on Eddie Thorpe? Eddie Thorpe is fine. This is exactly what he did.
Oh, just letting us know that Eddie Thorpe's fine now.
He's hurt, but I'm not
pretending he's hurt.
Eddie is not pretending.
Oh, and Obafemi's here as well. Love Obafemi.
I did it willfully too because he smashed me across the face with that trophy last week. You saw it. I was only trying to return.
Oh, Obafemi ate him.
I did see that, but you know what? The match is still staying in the background.
That's fine. That's if he makes it. But whether he does or he doesn't, the result remains.
Obafemi is intense on another level, man. Intense on another level. Just want to go back to a comment from earlier because I think it's really true. If you're ever wearing a suit as a man, right, and you're not wearing socks, and people can see that you're not wearing socks, suit without socks, that is madness. Thank you, the big one, for agreeing with me. It is absolutely madness. Don't do it, guys. Doesn't look good. Won't look good in 20 years when you're looking at the pictures back. Put some socks on. Animals. Right here, Faithful Influence, ready for six-man tag team action. The North American champion that we've just been talking about, Fallon Henley, who will now face Stephanie Vaquer at some point. I like this team, though. I like the idea of the trio of bitchy girls. I think it works in any context. Getting some ads now. All for NXT shop. I need some NXT merch, man. I'm here doing NXT reviews every week. I've got nothing that says NXT on it. And get myself some NXT. Right, what else can we talk about while we're waiting for this then? So, I suppose the main surprise for me on this one is that Shotzi's back in NXT. I can see it because, she was doing absolutely nothing on SmackDown and then I think she's been injured for a while. But getting her back to NXT, really clever move. I'm not sure what you think, but I'm totally with that. If you're currently watching along with us, we are at 1 hour, 15 seconds and 57, 56, 55 seconds remaining. Netflix works on a remaining for my screen currently. So at least you know roughly where we are in the episode. If you're watching along, thanks for doing so.
Taking a look at a one-of-a-kind venue, the Intuit Dome here in Los Angeles, California, was the home of their premiere of Raw on Netflix. Unbelievable night, unbelievable atmosphere here in the City of Angels. Like all the biggest moments in superstars.
Big news from today. I don't know if you've seen, Jake Roberts was rushed to hospital. Severely sick. And they've uncovered lots and lots of medical and health issues that need urgent attention. So, thoughts and prayers out to Jake the Snake. Anybody else see this as well this week? That Ric Flair thinks he's got one more match in him. That absolutely can't be true, right? Can't be. I don't see it. And while we're talking about oh, here we go. Triple H, Nick Khan, both at NXT. Don't see Nick Khan very often. Main man, made a lot of money for WWE, that guy. He's the difference between millions and billions. He is Nick Khan. Triple H and NXT. Just feels right, doesn't it? Oh, here we go. We got some. We're getting some replay of the last few weeks. Okay, I'm losing. Oh, #1 contenders for the tag team titles. I like Fraxium though, right? Nathan Frazier, Axiom. I like the team. And I know we've been teasing maybe splitting up, but I hope they don't because I like these two. I like them a lot as the champs.
Trying to be 17 years old and having to put food on the table for your feet, your little brother, and me. So I'm over here dealing with some real life struggle. You two over here arguing like some little ass kids. But you're looking at two grown men. Remember that. I told y'all last time, 25 odd years. It took us a minute to get.
Yeah, do you know what though? I like the presentation of these two. Feels very modern crime time. Maybe that's because we've got the chains and the headgear and the it does feel very modern crime time though. So we've got Fatal Influence in the ring, and we've got Shotzi, Gigi Dolan, and Tatum Paxley incoming. Interesting note though, I don't know if you watch Monday Night Raw on Netflix, the debut. I certainly did, and it's interesting. The Hogan thing was the most interesting thing of the night for me. You know, he obviously got booed way bad, so bad, booed out of the building. Obviously, he was there just to promote his beer, Real American beer. But yeah, absolutely booed out of the building. And he thinks, apparently, according to reports online, I got this from TGR Wrestling, just tgrwrestling.net if you're listening, if you want to have a read yourself. But they reported that sources close to Hogan noted that he believes his political allegiance caused much of the upset. So he thinks it's because he was publicly endorsing Donald Trump that he got booed out of the building. I mean, same could be said for The Undertaker, but I didn't see him getting booed out of the building either. So I think there's a bit more to it than that. But that's what he's saying anyway. I think trying to save some face, that's where Hogan is.
This is business, man. I'm talking about champagne, riches, and caviar.
Okay, so we're starting off. Bell's rung now, and Fatal Influence have taken him out early. And we've got big drop kick there from Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley and JC Jane are starting the match. Tatum Paxley on top early.
When you have a new champion, which means you need a whole new set of challengers. Everybody's been trying to work their way up the same ladder. Now you have a different target that could force you to adjust your game plan. It could force you to stay the course. It's different to each superstar. But right now, I like what I'm seeing. Cover here.
Fallon Henley out, tagged in Jasmine Nix, I want to say. Jasmine Nix now on Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley now tagging in Gigi Dolan. She's the one who's just returned from injury. And then Gigi straight away tagging in Shotzi. So going to have a bit of double teaming going on here. Shotzi doesn't even look like Shotzi. And that's a weird thing to say. Oh, she does now. It must have been that camera angle.
It's another entirely to experience to be trapped in the ring with chaos. Trap? What are you talking about, trap? I mean, this is the game plan.
Shotzi and Fallon Henley in the ring now. Roll up, Shotzi, 1, 2, kick out. Oh, and a big knee to face.
Shotzi and the champion is rocked. And, you know, you start to wonder, was Fallon focused on this match before? You said she should be. Booker, I wonder, with a new #1.
But again, you know, we're talking about the NXT women's division, and the first 3 matches of this special, all ladies matches. In fact, we've got more women's matches on this card than men's matches. And I always say it, that NXT's got, I've said it about 1,000 times already on this video, but NXT's got the strongest women's division in wrestling. This match is really interesting because this isn't even the main stars of the division right now. This is sort of these are your B's and C's, right? And these are still phenomenal athletes and great wrestlers. I think about, you know, the likes of Shotzi, who's got great experience, Tatum Paxley, who's an absolute star, Gigi Dolan and Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, who were obviously previously partners, tag team, friends. You know, there's some great characters and great wrestlers in this. And, oh, Shotzi just took a horrible landing to the outside off a dive. Fallon Henley got out the way. Oh, nasty landing. I wouldn't be taking that bump. No way. Amber Davenport, since the Netflix era started, it's been mostly faces over heels, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, maybe. I haven't checked the stats, but actually, if we're being totally honest, let's talk about that for a second. This is the second show of the Netflix era. I mean, is that fair to be pointing that out straight away? I don't know. Not sure. You could say loads of things since the beginning of the Netflix era. There's been no cage matches since the beginning of the Netflix era, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know what I mean? So I get it. And yeah, you might be right. And we might be putting over loads of baby faces to start off. But I mean, we know that Triple H hasn't got a problem, you know, putting heels over. Roman Reigns wouldn't have been the champion for 3 years else. So yeah, not a complaint. And I totally get it. I think you're right, you know. And it's probably the right thing to do. I think putting the baby faces over sells your stars really early on, which is what we want. And the heels will get their heat back eventually. I was surprised on Monday Night Raw that they didn't put Drew McIntyre over Jey Uso, but also again, brand new eyes on the product. And Jey Uso is an up and coming upper mid carder. And you don't want to kill his momentum on the first show. So I also see why they did it. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for your comments. I think that's really, really interesting. Really interesting that you pulled those things out specifically. What we got now? We got Gigi Dolan in and taking out both members of Fatal Influence on the apron so that she can go one-on-one now with Jacy Jayne in the ring, and they're now firing off. If you are watching along with us, Netflix works on sort of the how many minutes left, and we're currently on 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 13, 12, 11 seconds left. So if you're watching along, feel free. That's what we're here doing, and we're enjoying ourselves, hopefully. Gigi Dolan with the cover, Jacy Jayne with a kick out. I don't think anybody ever would have bought that as a finish. Give the people what they want at the start and then have the heels take it away, eventually making more dynamic TV. Absolutely. Yeah, totally. You want to see the babyfaces get a couple of wins in the beginning, then the heels get loads and loads of heat and make it seem like the face will never win again. And then the babyface ends the story by winning and everybody goes home happy. That is one way you could book a story, certainly. Ooh, and Shotzi off the top. We're agreed, Amber. We're agreed. Big net breaker. Shotzi with the cover. And both members of Fatal Influence breaking that one up.
Possible second preserving this matchup for Fatal Influence. Shrine Auditorium, we are live. Here for New Year's Evil. What a night it has been since the beginning. A new women's champion.
There we go. All three members of Fatal Influence in the ring. 2 have been chucked out, and now we've got Gigi and Tatum Paxley both looking to do the dive on Jacy Jayne and Jasmine Nix. And yeah, there we go. Another dive. I still think it's interesting that we haven't split these matches up. We've got 3 women's matches to the first 3 segments of this show. And then Shotzi pinning Fallon Henley after the senton from the top rope. And that gets the win. There we go. Shotzi getting the win over the North American champ, which is, again, really interesting, right? So now Shotzi potentially could claim a title match based on that finish. And we've got Stephanie Vaquer, who's now the #1 contender for this championship too. Lovely senton. You don't see many sentons anymore. Samoa Joe, best senton. Love that. Didn't ever do it from the top rope, though. Fair dues.
Let's see how these 3 can now carry the momentum into the new year here on NXT.
Fatal Influence do not look happy sitting on the ramp, just like John Cena after he lost to The Rock once in a lifetime. And then we got Ava backstage now with Ethan Page.
Because his jaw's wired shut because you broke it in half.
And yet, that moment
Oh, she's having a moan at him for breaking Javon Evans' jaw.
But for some reason tonight, big historic episode of NXT, New Year's Eve, Ethan Page is nowhere to be seen.
And Ethan's having a bit of a moan that he's not on the card for the biggest episode of NXT ever.
NXT, and I call the shots. Oh, perfect timing,
Oh,
actually.
there's nothing perfect about this.
And Ava says that she calls the shots. Oh, and here's Daddy. Ethan Page turns around, and there is The Rock. Rock and Ethan Page.
Ethan Page.
Correct. Final boss.
That is correct. It's good to meet you.
Great to meet you.
I heard a lot about you. Well, not all good. But that's okay. I heard that you broke a guy's jaw. Is that right, Ava?
Yeah,
Javon's jaw.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, payback's going to be a bitch. I just want you to know that.
Rock dropping the swears.
I heard you broke a guy's wrist.
Fingers.
Oh, his fingers.
I'll happily take credit for wrists.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I tell you, as I told everyone today, meeting this NXT roster, it was awesome meeting them. Every woman, every man. If they need anything, they come to me. If you need anything, you come to me.
I like the sounds of that.
All right. One more thing. I am the final boss, like the final boss. But on this show, NXT, she's the final boss.
Ava's the final boss on NXT, says The Rock.
If you and I are going to be cool, and I want us to be cool, then you and her need to be cool. Cool?
We're going to be cool.
I'll see you on the main roster one day.
I hope so.
All right. Get your sweet ass off.
And as Ethan Page walks off camera, The Rock gives him a little slap on the butt.
You know, NXT is all about moments. I feel like this is a pretty big one. But speaking of that, what are you going to say?
I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to say out there. It's crazy. Can you give me some advice?
Rock's asking Ava for some advice.
You do what you do. You've been in front of millions of crowds, but you have never been in front of an NXT crowd. Their passion is different. So
I hear him.
you might not know what to say. You're gonna get out there. You're gonna feel exactly what to say.
I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to feel.
Ava looks really nervous being on camera with The Rock. I don't know why. Amber says Ava's been a great GM for NXT. I don't know if she's been better than William Regal. I mean, she may have been good. I've only seen her here and there, which is the best way to be a GM. But I'll always compare now to William Regal. Has she been as good as William Regal? Not sure. Well, no, she hasn't. She might have been all right though. But I'm constantly comparing. What we got here? We got Charlie Dempsey, Lexus King must be next because here is Lexus King coming out. Amber also came back and said 100% agree that NXT does have the best women's division by far at the moment because everyone seems to want to be there. I mean, wouldn't you? Oh, here we go. NXT Heritage Cup Championship. Because why don't we need another championship? What we saying here, the big one? That's true. What's true? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
From Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 225 pounds,
Got Lexus King in the ring, and he's going to defend against the former champ, Charlie Dempsey. Hold on, why's Charlie Dempsey got it back? I thought Lexus King was the champ. Somebody explain that to me. I thought Lexus King was the champ. After using the brass knucks. Or William Regal using the brass knucks on him and getting him disqualified. Somebody explain this to me, quick. Oh, and the big one said, that's true. about Amber's comment about the NXT women's division. So there you go. Amber, you're right. 2 people agree. Me and the big one. Therefore, you are correct. And I've stored your comment. NXT does have the best women's division. And you were agreeing with me. So really, we should store my comment. But I didn't write it down. So we'll just go with that. Ava's been great, but William Regal is William Regal. 100% legend. Yeah, totally. 100%. Somebody explain to me why Lexus King isn't the Heritage Cup champion and what's happened there. He was, but giving it back due to controversy, and then this match got set up. Right, okay, so I'm caught up now. So we got Charlie Dempsey, obviously technically very sound, the son of William Regal. He's proven to be a bit of a submission wizard. We've got Lexus King, who's all about opportunism, and since that controversial win, let's say, King's leaned heavily into his man of integrity sort of facade, not being his father's son. Do you know what? I really want to be invested in Lexus King, and I'm not. I'm just not. It's just really not doing it for me. Never besmirch William Regal, says Amber. I don't think you'll ever hear anything from me. I'm not that important. If you're watching along at home, in the car, on a boat, on a train, in your garden, on a plane, hey, that round. We're currently, Netflix always says what we're remaining. We're currently 49 minutes and 26 seconds, 24 seconds remaining if you're watching along with us. We've still got The Rock coming live on NXT. Careful how I say that next time. But again, just because a couple of people have joined, we're currently watching remaining time on NXT New Year's Evil, 49 minutes, 7, 6, 5 seconds if you want to watch along. Currently got Charlie Dempsey, Lexus King, Heritage Cup Championship. And it's interesting, this. And I don't want to hammer it, but I'm not interested in the title, trophy, championship. And I'm not really want to be interested in Lexus King, but I'm not equally. I really want to be interested in Charlie Dempsey. And I'm not. It's just not. Neither of them are doing it for me right now. Maybe it's something in the characters. Maybe it's just not hitting for me. What do you think? How does it hit for you? Tell me what you think about these characters.
Booker, how many times did you win the world title? 6 times. 6 times. In those 6 times, how many times did you win it because you were a nice guy? Because you followed the rules? None of them. Exactly. Thank you for making my point. Well, speaking of which, when it comes to Booker's championship matches, my favorite one was SummerSlam 2001. And of course, The Rock will be here later on tonight. I'm still trying to figure out this.
Charlie Dempsey blocking the shot there from Lexus King, and now coming back with some European uppercuts. Sending Lexus King off the ropes. King holds on and drop kicks Dempsey off the apron. Then we're going to get another dive. 4th match in a row. We've seen some dives and a crossbody from the top onto Charlie Dempsey and his cronies. Again, I'm really interested, genuinely, guys, on how you feel about these two. Charlie Dempsey, Lexus King. Because, like I say, I'm not sold. I just don't get it. This is Southern Death Rules. 1 fall to a finish. So that's why we haven't had any rounds in this one. Normally we get the old school British rules, but it almost feels then like you're taking away what's special from this championship if you go back to basically having a proper wrestling match, a real like every other wrestling match. So I don't know if I agree with that either. Not, yeah, difficult that. Difficult balance.
Charlie Dempsey, of course, has been in these British rounds matches his entire career, been dating back to NXT UK. 2-time.
Oh, and we've got Charlie Dempsey busted open a little bit here above his left eye. Northern Light suplex, very nice. Oh, and Dempsey then, transitioned that Northern Light suplex from Lexus King straight into a hammerlock.
like this to Charlie Dempsey.
Very nice.
Master. Trained the world over.
Charlie Dempsey over Lexus King, both generational wrestlers and are trying to break out in their own way, but finding it a bit difficult at the moment. I'm finding it difficult. Finding it difficult to get on board with them. Lovely power slam. Lexus King, 2 count. I just don't think the characters are strong enough. That's what it is.
He said he's been on a mission to show everyone he's not like his father, but rolling through Dempsey.
Armbar, Dempsey on King. It's probably going to be the finish. King starts trying to roll through. Lexus King picks him up for a powerbomb, only about halfway, not as high as he could have done. Covers Dempsey, 1, 2, kick out. Yeah, and I'm not excited about it either because I don't necessarily care about the wrestlers. How do we feel about the Rumble in Saudi, not in 2026? Just because it's on my mind. We've got a chicken wing. Dempsey in a chicken wing. Dempsey's got King in a chicken wing. Straight to the ropes. Lexus King. Oof. Big forearm to the chin.
Lexus King just crumbled into a heap after the first right hand Dempsey fired off. That's a great observation. And
back elbow from Dempsey on King. Takes him to the corner. Whips him into the opposite corner. Big foot up by King onto Dempsey. And now Dempsey, Irish whip. Oh, they're both down. I'm not enjoying this match at all, you know. Amber says they either need to have something completely new or lean into their father's work, etc. Yeah. I don't mind if they don't do that. I just want something a little bit more. Ooh. Planned low blow there. Accidental, but planned. Yeah, do you know what? I don't mind them like only half sort of going in with the coronation. 1, 2, 3. And Lexus King gets the win and wins the Heritage Cup after that accidental on purpose low blow. For me, I think I don't mind them leaning into the dad stuff and the father stuff, even if it's just slightly. But what I will say is the stories and the arcs for these characters right now isn't compelling, and therefore I don't care whether they're taking the dad's names or not. Do you know what I mean? Whether they're leaning into it or not, because they're not. Sorry, just watching the replay of that finish. So the finish is like I don't even know, the coronation they call it, but I can't even explain it. A twisting net breaker where you've got hold of both hands from DDT position. Lexus King's the new Heritage Cup champion anyway. I just want a bit more from him, a bit more compelling. Amber, you're still on. We've got loads of comments coming through. Rumble 2026 will be massively effective with where they are. There will be a women's Rumble on that event as well. Will there be a women's? Who knows? Right, we've got Stephanie Vaquer, Fallon Henley, and Shotzi, like I said, all backstage with Ava.
So I make the case that I'm the number one contender.
Shotzi thinks she's the number one contender because she pinned Fallon Henley. That's what I said.
I beat 3 of the top superstars in that division by my
Stephanie Vaquer, she beat 3 top superstars in an accent.
I love this. How about you two figure it out and I'll face who's ever stand. I like the sound of that. Okay, I like the sound of that too, but I love the sound of it next week, so let's just save it for that. Next
week, Shotzi versus Stephanie Vaquer. Lovely. Nice little match on our way to whoever's going to face Fallon Henley.
Well, Joe Tessitore, lead voice.
Joe Tessitore, voice of SmackDown now. That's good. I like that he's going over to SmackDown. I didn't want Cole to do double GT. I like having a different voice on. So I can understand why you put Michael Cole on Raw. But yeah, absolutely. Lex's finisher reminds me of the shake, rattle, and roll. Absolutely. Yeah, back to this Rumble thing, though. There probably will be a women's Rumble. And then they'll all have to wear the full bodysuits and be absolutely, roasting, too hot, etc. I tell you what it is for me, though. And I wrote a blog on this, actually. If you've got any time later, get yourself on the blog. It's www.theburningtruthuk.com. And the blog I wrote was why I honestly believe that it's bad for the Rumble and bad for wrestling. And the reasons why I think, personally, that it loses some soul and some excitement from some of the surprises and returns. I just can't see them getting excited for some of the big moments. Like this year, for example, I will eat my hat if Joe Hendry isn't a surprise for the Rumble. And if that had happened in Saudi, he wouldn't have got the same pop that he will get in Indianapolis this year, because I genuinely think they'll go mad for him when he comes out. And here's Trick Williams. We've got the NXT title match next, main event time. Trick versus Obafemi versus Eddie Thorpe. Loving life. Really looking forward to this now. If you are watching along, we're at 32 minutes, 58, 57, 56 seconds remaining. Netflix gives it to us as a sort of the remaining. If roughly where we are is 1 minute, 27 and 8 seconds, but 32 minutes and 47 seconds remaining, if that's how you want to find us. Here comes the absolute beast that is Obafemi. And again, I'm backing Obafemi 1000% here because this guy is an absolute beast. Love Obafemi. By far, one of my favourite superstars since I started watching NXT again. In fact, he's top two. He's top two, 100%. Number one, Obafemi. Number two, Javon Evans. They've been absolutely my favourites.
And said, Trick, you are champion because I have let you be champion.
Let me tell you something. Obafemi slipped on a banana peel and lost that North American Championship to Tony D. Don't think it's going to happen again, man. If he gets his hands on that NXT Championship, you're going to have to pry it out of his cold dead hands, man. This man, don't brag.
What's Amber saying now? Amber's saying, watching this same time as you. Good. Absolutely. We'll do more of these watch-alongs if you want to carry on doing them. I don't know if this is sort of the right time of day to do it. With being in the UK, watching them live's, not always going to be possible for me, especially not on a Tuesday night. But, watch-alongs, if the feedback is that they're good and you want to carry on doing them, we'll do them. Absolutely. I feel that Obafemi is getting the win and Trick getting a possible move to either Raw or SmackDown. Oh, absolutely. How good would that be? Would love to see Trick go over to SmackDown, maybe light up that US title division alongside Shinsuke, LA Knight, Andrade. Who else we got over there? Carmelo. All that, well into that division. I think that'd be absolutely brilliant. Trick is made to wrestle those guys. And here we go. We're getting the big introduction. But where's Eddie Thorpe? I thought it was Triple Threat. Are we going to get the whole third person enters late because he's been attacked? I'm a fan of Mike Rome, So Mike Rome's doing the introductions currently with no socks on. And we'll go back up to that comment from before, from the big one. Suit without socks. What's that madness? You're right, it is madness. But Mike Rome, he reminds me of a better looking Tony Chimmel. He's got the same sort of gravel in his voice. I can imagine him saying, "The Rated R Superstar." And I think it's noticeable that the announcers have changed. So having Lillian Garcia has been absolutely fantastic. But we've definitely noticed that Samantha Irvine's gone, I think, on the main roster, because she added something just totally different. But Mike Rome, he does a good job on NXT. I'm a fan. Here we go. Obafemi, Trick Williams, and the big one. He was attacked. I know he did. I'm just kidding you. I'm having a bit of fun with you guys. God. Thanks, everyone, for watching along with us. I'm really enjoying this. first ever watch along on YouTube, but certainly we'll do it again because I've enjoyed it so far. I'm having a good time doing it. Normally I just do the review, but I think talking's loads better, yeah? So this should be Trick Williams versus Obafemi versus Eddie Thorpe for the NXT Championship. Triple threat that brings together three very different competitors, all vying for that top prize in NXT. Currently, though, because of Obafemi attacking Eddie Thorpe and him not really even being injured, the big one, you can have that on me. It's singles match currently, Obafemi and Trick Williams. Both super confident athletes, both some, real phenomenal characters on NXT. Enjoyed watching both of them since I've been watching. Obafemi, though, I think is my pick for this, as it is for Amber, who's watching with us. I think he's just been unstoppable. He had that little slip up where he lost the North American Championship, but he had to get to the point where he could challenge for the NXT title. And I think he's just a powerhouse who is the ultimate threat. I think when we think about like some of the other big powerhouses in wrestling that we've had over time, he's got intensity that not many have had. And I would actually, if I was thinking about who I would compare him to, Obafemi, I would compare him, because of his intensity, to somebody like Goldberg. And I think he's genuinely that exciting as a prospect for the main roster one day. Really, really enjoyed him. In fact, we talked about, Amber was in the chat and she was talking about Obafemi getting the win and then Trick maybe going to Raw or SmackDown. I think what would be really, really, really interesting would be what would happen if Trick Eddie Thorpe looks like he's coming. What I think would be really interesting, just getting back on my thoughts, was if Trick retains in this match or Eddie Thorpe gets the win. What happens if we just take Obafemi straight up to the main roster? Because Obafemi can't get lost in an Intercontinental or US title division. He's going to be much more like a Sheamus, where he comes up to the main roster and gets thrust into that main event picture quite quickly, just because of the size and the intensity of him. I think he has to win this match for me. Otherwise, he goes to the main roster and takes over, and we're not quite ready for that yet. Trick Williams, obviously the charismatic champion. Whoop that Trick. He's been phenomenal since I've been watching that first episode of NXT on the CW when he took the title back from Ethan Page. Performances have been really good. The guy looks like $1 million. Say no more about him. Eddie Thorpe, I don't know much about. If I've watched a match of his, I can't remember it. Obviously, I missed the title match he had a few weeks ago. Trick now just slapping it. How loud's Obafemi? Oh, and Obafemi with a big forearm. Trick with a big kick. Obafemi, shoulder tackle. Trick, big clothesline, and down goes Femi. The big one's got a comment in. He says, can't wait for Obafemi to get the call for either Raw or SmackDown. Neither can I, mate. Just talked about it. And as I said, that Trick with a huge net breaker on Obafemi picks him up for a slam. Whoop that Trick. Flapjack. Why is this even a triple threat? This is just a singles match. It's been boss. Like, really, really good. Doesn't need the third man. This is interesting, though. We're going to get The Rock out after the main event. You'd have thought he'd have been on, like, mid-show or before this. You wouldn't think they'd bump the main event back to end the show with a Rock promo. That seems bizarre, doesn't it? Counted into a DDT onto Obafemi. Trick hitting some big moves. Trouble in Paradise. Trick hits Trouble in Paradise for 2. Kick out by Obafemi. Still too soon. Still too soon. If you're watching along at home or in your car or in the clouds or wherever, we got remaining on Netflix. We've got 20 minutes and 39 seconds. So thanks for watching along with us. I'm really enjoying doing this. First ever watch along. So Whoa, huge uppercut by Obafemi. Huge. Obafemi's got Trick up for a powerbomb. Sit out. 1, 2. And Eddie Thorpe pulls the referee out the ring just as Obafemi's about to win the title. And he's got a chair with him. Obafemi grabs Eddie Thorpe. Pulling him in the ring. Yeah, pulls him in. Landed on the chair that he brought with him. And now Obafemi's bumping Eddie Thorpe round. If you don't know already, we've actually got a podcast, me and Matt Burns, every week. We've been on a bit of a hiatus while we've both been super poorly and over Christmas and New Year. We are back this Monday or Tuesday night. It should go live. So if you are interested in wrestling podcasts, we roughly do around an hour and a half a week. It's called The Burning Truth. It is available on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcasts. So you can get that on. Trick hits the trick shot on Obafemi. 2. Kick out. From the trick shot. I thought that was it. And Trick looks like he can't believe it.
The exact same way as you do, but unfamiliar territory. The trick shot usually gets the job done, but Obafemi, no normal competitor. You can say that again.
Oh, now we got Trick in the corner, giving it the Roman Reigns. Ooh, ah! Because we know when he does that, whatever move he does next, will have double the effectiveness. Obafemi with a powerbomb. And Obafemi is the new NXT champion. How about that? Eddie Thorpe getting involved with a chair. Trick Williams getting taken out. Didn't need it. Didn't need it. Could have just done Obafemi versus Trick Williams, and we would have probably enjoyed it a little bit more. Eddie Thorpe felt like more of a nuisance in this story than anything, and not in a good way. But Obafemi, the new NXT champion, I mean, let me give you my money because I'm well happy with that. Take my money. Obafemi is the main man in NXT. What do you think about that, guys? What are the thoughts on Obafemi being the new NXT champion? I'm well happy. Genuinely really excited to see where NXT goes with Obafemi as the champ. Oh, what have we got here? Oh, we've got Obafemi and Julia out now with the titles because we've got 2 new champions and new women's champion and new NXT champion. Obafemi, Julia. And these were the 2 winners of the Deadline Iron Survivor. So both Iron Survivors become champions. Feeling that. Waiting for your comments, guys. I want to know how you feel about Obafemi being the new NXT champion. Or maybe you got no thoughts. That could be a thing too. Okay, we've got 13 minutes, 47, 46, 45 seconds remaining.
To WWE's New Year's Evil. What a night it has been. Next week, we'll be back in Orlando, Florida, as the Meta Girls. They'll meet the Unholy Union.
The Meta Girls versus the Unholy Union. #1 contender, tag team title match. #1 contenders for the tag team titles next week on NXT. Nice to see Alba Fire and Isla Dawn back in NXT again. And then OTM, who are the 2 that are going for the tag team titles. They are wrestling the NXT tag team champions, Fraxium, next Tuesday as well. So we've got a tag team title match and the #1 contender for the women's tag team titles. I mean, yeah, I'm all about that. Love a bit of tag team wrestling. Next week's NXT looks good. Oh, and it's time. Thanks for watching along with us. Looks like we're getting the final boss now. Peaceable. Here he comes. On NXT, of all places, here comes the final boss. The biggest star in the world. He's just got something about him, Auntie. More so than anybody else in the world of wrestling or entertainment. He's just on another level, The Rock. And he always has been. Say what you want, but in terms of entertainment, he's just, since that first time we saw him, another level. I mean, maybe not his debut, maybe not Rocky Maivia, but certainly, you know, since we had the birth of The Rock and the Nation and the People's Champ, the Corporate Champ, Rock and Sock Connection. The Rock's just the main man. Something different about him. And here we got him on NXT. I mean, how lucky is that for the brand? You know, huge exposure. Again, NXT, and this is interesting, this is the first NXT on Netflix worldwide. So it was on the CW in the US, but it's on Netflix worldwide. Think about the audience that this brand is getting on Netflix compared to what it got before. I mean, the early theories are that the first Monday Night Raw on Netflix did Squid Games numbers, and that is big time in terms of Netflix. If this even does a fraction of what Monday Night Raw did, it's going to do gangbusters for WWE. And again, they've done a really good job setting up characters that we haven't seen before, or that the mainstream audience haven't seen before, because it's onto a new audience on this platform. So, and you might not have noticed loads of stuff, but I always think about like when Friends was first on TV in the 90s, and they made a conscious effort to make sure for the first 3 seasons, if you go back and watch it now, it's really obvious. Those first 3 seasons, they call everyone by the name every time. So, for example, they don't say, do you want to go and get some coffee, Ray? Do you want to go and get some coffee? Oh, yeah, I'd love to go get some coffee. They don't do that. They go, hey, Rachel, shall we go and get some coffee, Rachel? Oh, yeah, Ross, that's a really good idea, Ross. Let's go and get some coffee. Okay, Rachel, let's go. And they say the names continuously. And they've done something similar tonight with placement of graphics when they talked about entrances, with some of the video packages that I've seen between, with the commentary. You know, they've really, really taken home the fact that these are the superstars that you need to watch, and they've introduced them really well to this audience. So, but we'll see what The Rock's going to say now. If I go quiet here, it's because I'm listening to the final boss, the great one. For me, he doesn't have to say a lot here. If you're watching along, it's 8 minutes, 34 seconds remaining on the Netflix. If you're not watching on Netflix, you're watching on something else, let us know in the comments. Interested? How else we can do this? Chanting his name. Finally. Nice moment when he was backstage with his daughter as well, Ava. You know, it's a nice moment for him and for her. She was obviously nervous being on camera with her dad, though. Hi, Chief Cioli. Chee-hoo!
And I love you. Thank you. Chills all over my body. This is crazy. Okay. Woo! Man.
It's a terrible waistcoat, though, right? Thoughts in the comments on the Final Boss's waistcoats. They're as bad as his 1999 shirt collection. Absolutely terrible.
The emotional up in this thing.
Got some swears, though. Putting the sound out for me. I don't know about you guys.
All right, we got 6 minutes and 33 seconds. Okay, I'm looking right now. Here we go. It's okay. This will be the best 6 minutes. All right. You know, The Rock has got a lot of nicknames. I go by the People's Champ. The most electrifying man in all of entertainment. The sexiest man on earth. And most proudly, the jabroni beating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, electric iconic owns all the stock, the final boss, the People's Champ, The Rock.
He's going to play all the hits here, isn't he?
All right, I need you guys to help me out. I mean, you guys clearly feel it. You feel it. I feel you. I need you guys to help me out with something. So this time last year, The Rock, the final boss, everywhere I went, every gym, every restaurant, every church, every strip club, the same thing. I heard the same thing. Why are you so mean to Cody? Don't be mean to Cody. Cody's got to finish his story. Don't be mean. Oh, my God. Okay. 1 year later, last night, Netflix. Raw. Whoa! Yes. An amazing night we had. Electrifying night, a historic night. Last night, The Rock wanted to give props to Cody, give him his flowers. He's been kicking ass. He has been kicking ass.
I don't know why he's using this time to talk about Cody.
You can't be nice to Cody. Don't be nice to Cody. Don't drink tequila with Cody. Oh. At the end of the day, let us all remind them that The Rock is the final boss, thinking 20 steps ahead. So the best thing for them to do is to know their role, shut their mouth, and enjoy the ride that The Rock is taking them on. Here we go. All right. Now, rowdy crowd right here. You. It says we got about 2 minutes left. It says we got 2 minutes. And look, I'm saying, look, they say we got 2 minutes. I'm like, we're going to go. Oh, they're sweating. It's okay. It's okay. All right. I'm sorry for the language. I apologize. Here's the thing. The truth is, I knew that I was coming to NXT a couple of weeks ago. I talked to Nick Khan and Triple H, and I said, let me come to NXT. We're in the Intuit Dome on Monday. Let me go to NXT on Tuesday. What do you think? They're like, it's a great idea. But the thing is, I didn't know what to say. Right? So you think about it. I talked to Ava backstage. She said, you're going to go out there and you're going to feel this crowd. Let this crowd inform you, and you're going to know what to say. So here's the thing. I love you back, and I appreciate that. But I want to tell you something that's very important. The main thing I want to do is to come out here, and I want to tell you thank you. And I'll tell you why. Because going to the Intuit Dome last night, Raw, Netflix, that's a sexy ticket. That's a ticket, right? Like, hey, go. You'll see celebrities. You'll see all the stars of the WWE. You'll see stars, celebrities. You'll see them all. That's the one that you have to go to. NXT, the Shrine here in Los Angeles. This is what you want to go to.
Rock's running out of time here. He is running out of time, big time here. If you're watching along, Netflix says we've got 1 minute 46 seconds remaining. You ain't got a lot of time. Take it home, Rock.
Let me tell you something. Chills can't stop. You have to go to that show, but you want to come to this show. Okay, it's easy to go to the place that has all the stars, and it's not easy to go to the place. They got stars here. And that's what I want to tell you. I need to let you know that every single one of you, how important you are, how critical you are to this whole thing. Okay? Because here's the thing. Those guys back there, those girls and guys who are working their ass off, they come out here in 3 years. Who knows? They could be the main event at WrestleMania. But, as you know, in 3 years, they could be out of the business. But here's what it depends on. Whether you boo or whether you cheer, it all depends on how you react. I have been down this road. I wrestled in Memphis as Flex Cabana. I know, most wrestling name of all time. I know what it's like. But
The Rock needs to hold off with the swears a little bit, man. I get it, and I get, oh, it's Netflix, okay, but they're cutting it out on my feed, and I can't understand what he's saying now.
My job takes me away to a lot of places. I will always come back home to you. WWE NXT, I love you. It's just a man. But The Rock is cooking.
You got there, just about. Made it happen. With 2 seconds to spare, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. And there you go. That was NXT New Year's Evil. Don't know what you guys thought about it. I know what I thought about it. I thought it was really good up till that last segment. I'm a bit, I feel a bit like it didn't need The Rock and he didn't really add anything. Don't know what your thoughts are. Call it a jaw-dropping moment if you want, but I mean, he just kicked off by saying there aren't any stars in NXT, and then said, "Oh yeah, there are, and they might be at the main event in WrestleMania in 3 years." And then, "Oh well, they might not be." I don't know what he's added there. He should have been there to put him over as hard as he could have done. That's what he should have done. Really, really unneeded. But yeah, that was NXT New Year's Evil. Don't know what you guys thought. Thanks for watching along. If that's what you've been doing, that's a wrap. So thanks for hanging out and enjoying New Year's Evil. It's always been a blast sharing these moments with you. I think we'll definitely do this format again because I've genuinely really enjoyed it. If you want to keep the conversation going, you can follow us on Twitter at TBT Live UK. We're on Instagram at The Burning Truth and Facebook at The Burning Truth. Catch all the episodes of the podcast and all these live shows that we do on YouTube at The Burning Truth 251. But you guys know that because you're here. Feel free to drop your thoughts and predictions at info@theburningtruthuk.com. We'd love to hear from you. The podcast should be back over this weekend into Monday, Tuesday. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review and keep the wrestling conversation alive. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time for even more action-packed coverage. Until then, stay hyped, and as always, keep it real. And more than anything, remember, suits without socks. That's madness. Thanks, the big one. See you later, guys.